right, so we're gonna pick up where we left off yesterday, picking up with the Los Angeles Chargers.
Charges.
So we're gonna just be continuing what we're doing, going through uh, each of their draft picks and giving our draft grades. So with their first pick in the first round at pick 13, the Chargers selected offensive tackle Rashawn Slater from Northwestern. Followed that up with cornerback Asante Samuel Jr. from Florida State in the second round. Two third-round picks were used on wide receiver Josh Palmer from Tennessee, and then tight end McKitty from Georgia. Fourth round, they went outside linebacker Chris Rump from Duke. Fifth round, Brendan Jameis, offensive tackle from Nebraska. Sixth round, they went inside linebacker Nick Neiman from Iowa. Their second sixth round pick, they took Larry Roundtree, running back from Missouri. And then they closed out their draft with the safety Mark Webb from Georgia. I'll give them a solid B plus. They had one drafts I liked the most out of a lot of people. Obviously, Rashawn Slater was a pick that most people had them taken at that point in the draft. You want to protect Justin Herbert as much as possible. Also, love the fact that they came back in the second round and took Asante Samuel Jr. He he fell on a lot of people's boards as we were talking about during the whole lead up to the draft, as far as I guess him being undersized from what they're saying, and he's probably going to be uh, predominantly a slot corner. But if you watch him play, his ball skills, I don't care about none of that. That was a good pickup for them, especially because they needed help on that defense. As we seen last year, a lot of games were kind of lost for them because of the defense or lack thereof. So that's a good start. Pairing him with Derwin James, hoping he comes back healthy. I like that on this defense. Let's see. Not too familiar with Josh Palmer from Tennessee, but doesn't hurt to add another wide receiver. And then I do like the tight end pick with Trey McKitty. But yeah, solid B plus for me.
Yep, I agree. B plus for the Chargers. Um, wasn't my favorite tackle, but still a great tackle. One of the top three, arguably. Obviously anybody that's seen my draft board, I had I'm pretty sure I had Christian Dorsal from Virginia Tech going to him. But didn't happen. It's okay. Obviously, the second round pick still getting Asante Samuel Jr., especially going along with that defense. Hopefully, not just him in terms of Asante Samuel Jr. can stay healthy, but referring to more so Derwin James, Joey Bosa, and the rest of that crew because
they had a couple injuries last year.
Yeah, they were definitely injury riddled on our defense last season. So if they can stay healthy, they can definitely be a good matchup. But I agree with everything else that you said about the remaining picks. So again, B plus, Spence.
I'm gonna give it an A minus. The Sante Samuel thing, man, that was a pretty big steal, especially at the position they really needed at. With that, of course, with Darren James, hopefully they'll stay healthy, able to make that chemistry on defense with Joey Bosa. If we just get Melvin back, it can work to the highest extension of it. Of course, with Slater, it made sense. I mean, Duracell was probably on their list. He got took. I'm like, all right, well, Sewell's gone. Duracell's gone, so why not? So let me just get the actual second best, according to other people, the second best. So yeah, why not?
Yeah. last thing with the Chargers though, yeah, I don't think Melvin Ingram has signed anywhere else yet, so maybe they do bring him back. I think
Yeah.
maybe they should consider it, but
Yeah.
because that's my only reason I didn't give him an A. I don't feel like they addressed losing him in the draft. They didn't take a defensive end, so it's like, what is your
Yeah.
plans? What's your plans there to replace Ingram?
Maybe,
That's why I didn't give him an A.
or maybe they're in conversation with him, so maybe they just feel like, okay, since we have an audience with him, I think we have a better chance of re-signing him. So let's not get somebody.
Well, the second part of free agency is about to kick off, so
Yeah.
it's usually 2 waves. It's the first wave, you get people pre-draft, go into draft, and then you evaluate with what you didn't get in the draft or unrestricted free agents.
Right.
What holes you still might have or competition or whatever the case is. So
Yeah.
I'm sure a lot of these guys who have been waiting, who haven't been signed yet, they'll probably either be taking visits or things of that
Right.
nature. So onward to the Los Angeles Rams. So they didn't have a first round pick, but this is no surprise. They haven't had a first round pick in like 4 years or something like that. But it doesn't seem to matter for them. But okay. Second round pick. They took Tutu Atwell from Louisville, the wide receiver.
Okay.
Third round, they took Ernest Jones, South Carolina, inside linebacker.
Okay.
Fourth round, they went defensive tackle Bobby Brown from Texas A&M.
Okay.
They took Robert Rochelle from Central Arkansas, cornerback.
Okay.
They went wide receiver Jacob Harris from UCF. Then they went defensive end Ernest Brown from Northwestern. Running back Jake Funk from Maryland. Wide receiver Ben Skowronek from Notre Dame.
Okay.
And then outside linebacker Chris Garrett from Concordia, St. Paul. Based on what they had to work with, I mean, they didn't have a first, but they had 3 4s, second, third, then 3 7s. I mean, looks like they got good. I guess they made good use of their picks. This is a team I can't really think of too many holes per se when I think of the Rams off the top of my head. Maybe receiver, but I mean, I like the combination they got at receiver. They had a couple injuries in the playoffs. Really, I think was the main issue with them. They just weren't 100% healthy. So I think anything they're bringing in might really just be depth purposes. Obviously, brought in Stafford. I guess that's considered your first round pick this year, if you want to look at it that way. You upgraded your quarterback position. But as far as their draft, give it a solid C+.
Yep. I gave him a B minus. Solid draft. It wasn't nothing special, but yeah. Spence.
Yeah, I'm gonna do C+. It was just more. This is basically just depth. Really, it's really just depth. It's just like, hey, we're gonna fill holes. Try to be in better situations. Hopefully, the injury bug is not over us, but just in case, we have backup. So, yeah, it's pretty average.
Okay. Now
Miami.
To
Miami.
Nah.
Vick, say it with your chest.
Nah. Y'all skipping. We going alphabetical, baby. Las Vegas.
Yeah, my bad. I forgot.
Yeah, we gotta talk about the Raiders.
So, first round they went Alex Leatherwood from Alabama, offensive tackle.
Ooh.
Didn't really, won't say it was a reach, but it was definitely a Raiders pick. I feel like every year in the first round they have us scratching their heads. I feel like he's somebody who would have been there
Second round.
Second round, they could have got somebody else or traded back and got the same player, acquired more picks, but
Well,
this is not new for the Raiders. So um, then in the second round, I actually do like this pick though, because I had him going at the end of the first round. So I guess if you flip the picks, it's the same thing. If you want to look at it that way, they got the safety Trayvon Morig from TCU, who I initially had going to Baltimore, but glad he didn't. So I'll take it. Good Raiders, and the Raiders definitely need safety help. So I like that pick. Makes a lot of sense. Then they went outside linebacker Malcolm Concy from Buffalo. Then they went safety Divine Diablo from Virginia Tech. Then they went safety again, Tyree Gillespie from Missouri. Then they rounded it out with cornerback Nate Hobbs from Illinois. And then they ended the draft with center Jimmy Morrissey from Pittsburgh. The Raiders initially when I looked at it, I gave him a D, but then I'm like, maybe I'm just being too harsh. I really that first pick, like I said, it was kind of a head stretcher just because where they took him, not because he was like the end of the first round talent. They got him like in the middle, so for where they got him, I didn't really like it. But then, like I said, I feel like they kind of brought it back up with the Trayvon Morig pick in the second, so I guess it kind of cancels out. I give him a flat C.
Okay. So I gave him a C plus. I obviously head scratcher with the first pick. Felt like even then, like again, like we alluded to about a few teams in the previous topics with the other teams. If they wanted to get Alex Leatherwood, trade back, keep the pick, trade back. I mean, not keep the pick, trade back, get some more, picks to, I guess basically get more value out of that draft. Felt like they could have got more with just, but again, they believe in Alex Leatherwood. That's their player. They want to select him first overall. Not saying it's a bad pick. I just felt like they could have got him a little later. But, like Trey said, they made up again Trayvon in the second round. Didn't think he was going to fall that far. So great pick on that one. The second, third round pick that they had, the safety from Virginia Tech, Divine Diablo. He is going to be I would say like a rover, like linebacker / strong safety. He's going to be I thought that was a great pickup by them. And the last one I want to say is the center, the seventh round pick. Jimmy Morrissey, he is the best center in Pittsburgh history. So that's a steal with that being said, but I don't know if he'll be able to produce. I hadn't really watched too much film, but that's just some of the analysis that I've gotten from other analysts. So good pickup. Could be a potential late draft. Boom. Spence?
I'm gonna just give this an average, just a C, man. Just in the middle. That Leatherwood pick was a head scratcher, but we're all prepared for that. But once again, like you guys said, they made it up with the Hollins pick. Mostly good at depth, and the center thing, I didn't know about that, but that's good because they traded most of their line away. So yeah, let's build a new one. So yeah, just average.
Okay.
All right. Now, Vic, on to Miami. So, want to just preface this one by saying this was, I like their draft, but that's not just me being biased saying that. Like they actually, I think they did real good with their draft picks. They pretty much knocked just about all of them out the park, I think. All right, so Jalen Waddle at 6 overall, wide receiver from Alabama. can't say I'm disappointed because I wanted Jamar Chase. I would have took either one. I would have took Devontae Smith if for whatever reason Waddle would have been gone. But Waddle definitely take him. That's gonna definitely add some explosiveness to Miami's offense this year. And you just think about him and Will Fuller. Whew. Yeah.
Just stay healthy, Will. Just stay healthy. I promise.
Yeah. Then they followed it up at 18 with defensive end from the U, Jalen Phillips. Some people were mad at this pick. They wanted Najee Harris. I'm along with what Vick was saying pre-draft. He's like, if you switch it up and you go defense, and then you can, maybe get a receiver later on, or a wide receiver later, a running back later on, it might work out a little better. Add to that defense. The defense was already top 10 last year, but so then they come back in the second round. Another pick I love, Javon Holland from Oregon, safety. I think that was a solid pick, one of the better safeties in this draft this year. So definitely like that. Come back with their second round pick. Thank you, Texans, for all these multiple picks.
Appreciate it.
Liam Etchenberg, offensive tackle from Notre Dame. Followed that up, even though I didn't think we needed another one, but I ain't mad at it. We went tight end Hunter Long from Boston College. Pair him with Gesicki. I like that. Then in the 7th round, they went Larnell Coleman, UMass. And then they ended the draft with running back Jared Dokes from Cincinnati. So I'm going to give these boys a solid, I give them an A. I think they hit on just about all their picks. The only thing that running back are waiting so long to take a running back, I don't necessarily agree with that. But hey, they traded a 5th round pick to Pittsburgh, which we'll talk about later. Pittsburgh ended up, and Miami ended up picking up, I believe it's a 4th round next year. So, which I kind of get. They had so many picks. You can trade some picks. They still ended up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They still had 6 picks they still used 6 picks this draft. They came in with more because you got to remember they traded some to move back up to 6. And so, because I think they went into this draft with probably some of the most draft picks out of everybody.
We had 3 slots.
Yeah, so that's cool.
We had 3, 16, and 24.
Yeah, so I'll say 1, 2, 3, 4. I could see 5 of them making an impact this year. Being Waddle, Phillips, Holland, Long, and maybe Etchenberg, depending on what we do on the offensive line. The other 2 that we got a 7th round, those might probably just depth purposes, but we'll see how that goes.
Hell.
And I also have to say this before I probably would have liked the draft a little bit better if it wasn't for the Broncos, because we probably were definitely going to take Javonte Williams in the 2nd round. But when Denver moved up, that kind of changed their plans.
Pose.
So I give the Miami Dolphins a A-.
Okay.
Basically, running back was my biggest issue in the latter parts of the draft, starting from 2 on. I love the 1st round. Got Jalen Waddle, Jalen Phillips, which I did have them projected to get them. So I love the pick. I know a lot of Miami Dolphins fans were more so for getting a running back at that point, but yeah, defense, I felt like I need another pass rusher. I need a pass rusher. So great first round. Obviously, I wanted Jamar Chase more so to go to Miami, but that didn't happen. Second round, Javon Holland, one of the top 3 safeties in the draft. Great pick. Liam Eichenberg. Um, that's another solid offensive lineman. Probably uh, probably top 5 in his position. Maybe top 6. Yeah, and he's in the top 10 for sure.
Yeah.
Hunter Long, one of the best run blocking tight ends in this draft class. So that's definitely going to complement Mike Gesicki, and whatever he can produce in the passing game is going to be beneficial.
You got hands.
Outside of that, huh?
I say you got hands. I seen it. You got hands.
Yeah. So outside of that, the other 2 picks, I get it probably more so in terms of depth purposes. Maybe that running back could be something, but right now, running back is a lot to be desired at this moment. I don't have too much faith in them. I know they probably might have other feelings about the running back, unless they're thinking about trading for one. But
Hey,
yeah,
my thing is there was a few running backs who went undrafted that we probably could have got. Trey Sermon being run. What's the other dude? Trey Rogers. Like there was a
Oh,
few. There was a
you said
few.
undrafted?
Yeah, that went undrafted, meaning they could have took them in that spot
No,
versus.
Trey Sermon, he was drafted by the 49ers in the 3rd round.
Oh, he did. Oh, he was drafted. Okay, I thought
Yeah.
they signed him as an undrafted free agent.
No, it probably might be somebody else. But yeah, Trey Sermon, yeah. Unless there's another Trey Sermon I don't know about.
No,
Yeah, that's running back.
But yeah, still though, there was a couple running backs I seen that actually went undrafted that I think watching his tape, they probably were better than the running back we took. But nonetheless, it's still gonna be a position we're gonna have to address. I know we signed Malcolm Brown.
Yeah.
Some people are high on that pick. I don't know. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
But fresh off the press, obviously today now is May 5th, 2021. And Kerryon Johnson was just released by the Lions. So that could be something that I think Miami should take a look into, potentially claiming him off of waivers.
Yeah.
Wouldn't hurt. But Spence.
I'm gonna give this an A, man. This was a solid draft. I mean, the other last 2, of course, was for depth, but this was a pretty solid draft. I mean, Waddle was, of course, the second choice. If Jamar Chase was gone, we're gonna get Waddle. If Waddle was gone, Devontae Smith. So it was either or, no matter what. It was either one of his old teammates. He was getting one. So we got Waddle, and then Jalen Phillips. Once again, I didn't mind, like when Vick said, "Would you mind taking a defensive person?" I said I wouldn't mind if we just in the second round go offensive. So I wouldn't mind. So Jalen Phillips I wasn't mad about it. Actually, I was actually pretty glad about it. We had top 10 defense. Why not add more? Let's try to be number 1. So let's do that one. Of course, that second round. I mean, love the pick. Once again, top 3 safeties in this draft. But Broncos want to be some hoes. I mean, I get it. Whatever. Sure. I mean, y'all have Melvin Gordon. You know what? Let's move on. Anyways, y'all mentioned about a great pick for the line. Why not? So I believe this was a really good draft. A really good draft from us.
Good.
All right. So on to the Minnesota Vikings. So in the first round,
I know.
In the first round, they took Christian Darrisaw, offensive tackle, Virginia Tech.
Yeah.
Yep. Great value for where they got him. They sat at 23 and were able to get him. So that's crazy.
Yeah.
They didn't have a second round pick. With their first pick in the 3rd round, they took quarterback Kellen
Yeah.
Mond, Texas A&M.
Yeah. I know, fellas. I know.
Ugh.
I know. He's
I
gonna
have been
thrive
raving
too.
about this kid for months,
He's gonna
saying that
thrive.
he was gonna go under the radar, but apparently the Vikings knew something that I knew.
Yep.
Mm.
And
And
he's
I
gonna
already
thrive.
seen, I forgot who it was who came out and said that Kirk Cousins basically is soon to be replaced by
Oh yeah, his time's up.
That's how, like, I honestly, a couple of quarterbacks who went in the first round, I like Kellen Mond to end up being better. The only outside of maybe Lawrence and Fields, it wouldn't surprise me if he ends up better than Trey Lance. Definitely, I'm not a fan of Zach Wilson, sorry, or Mac Jones. Though I think Mac Jones went to the perfect situation for him to be successful.
Mm-hmm.
But if you don't got it, you don't got it. But we'll that's yet to be seen. But let's continue on. My love for Kellen Mond, wanted him to fall to Pittsburgh, but it didn't happen for me. So, anyways, shut up. in the third round, they went inside linebacker Chaz Surratt, North Carolina. Then they went offensive guard Wyatt Davis from Ohio State, like that pick too. I actually like both those picks.
Yeah.
I actually like them first 4 picks. Not gonna lie to y'all.
Yeah.
Shit, like this 5th one too. They went defensive end Patrick Jones from Pittsburgh. Oh, they might be cooking over here from Minnesota. All right, then in the 4th they went running back Kane Nwangwu from Iowa State. Probably butchered your name. Sorry about that. Then they went cornerback Cameron Bynum, no relation to Vick. Clearly he's a baller from California.
Shots fired.
Then we got Janarius Robinson from Florida State, defensive end. Then in the 5th round, they went wide receiver Amir Smith Marset from Iowa. Then they rounded our tight end Zach Davidson from Central Missouri. And then they ended the draft, another pick I actually like, especially where they got him, Jalen Tymon, defensive tackle from Pittsburgh. So all in all, I think they had a really good draft. Their needs going into the draft, let's see, you need an inside linebacker, defensive end. They addressed those. Offensive guard, they did that. The only thing they didn't do that they probably needed to address was safety. But outside of that, I think they knocked it out the park too. I'm gonna give them a solid A as well.
Okay. So I gave them a B plus.
Okay.
Like the draft. Hated the 3rd round pick.
Makes sense.
Kellen Mond. I was hoping my Bucks could get him, but that didn't happen. So it is what it is. A little salty about it. But regardless, no 2nd round pick. That took into effect for me. Similar to what Trey said about the safety position, they're losing Anthony Harris.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like that should have been something that they should have addressed, but at the same time, love the 1st round pick, Christian Dorsal, one of my favorite tackles in the draft. Kellen Mond, arguably, I would probably say definitely in the top 4. Definitely top 5, but top 4 for me.
Yeah.
I'm not. Yeah. Honestly, I had him over a few people, but Yep. And yep, Spence.
To be honest, I'm probably gonna give him. I'm gonna give him an A-. Still a little bit too early, but the draft picks they have, especially with the Kellen Mond draft pick, I really think that was a really good pickup, especially for them that's probably waiting I believe this is Kurt's last year in his contract. So I think they're really setting up for the future. I don't know. I got to look into it. I know it's either this year or next year. No, I know that for sure. So hopefully this is a great pick, good transition, going into a good team that you have. You still got Adam Thielen, Justin Jefferson, just had one great year. You got Devin Cook behind you. You're good. I think he's in a great situation. Tight end may be a little bit up there, but soon they're going to get some other tight ends. So this was pretty good. This was really good for Minnesota.
Yeah, they done good. I stole my guy. They stole my guy.
I know.
And the Bucks, y'all got y'all quarterback. What are you worried about? What's up with you, Vick? You hosting the drag race over there?
Man, these dang Hondas or whatever the hell they be riding out here with these mufflers. Crazy.
They're shooting for the next Need for Speed over there. All right.
Had to mute most of it.
All right. So New England Patriots, real quick. Mac Jones in the first round, quarterback Alabama. Defensive tackle Christian Barmore from Alabama as well. The pipeline continues with Bill Belichick and Saban. In the third round, they took Ronnie Perkins, defensive end from Oklahoma. They come back in the fourth round and go Ramondre Stevenson, Oklahoma running back. Then they go inside linebacker Cameron McGrone from Michigan. Safety Josiah Bledsoe from Missouri. Offensive tackle William Sherman from Colorado. And then they finish it out with UCF's Trey Nixon at wide receiver in the seventh. C plus. I love the first. Well, I don't personally believe in Mac Jones. I would just want to preface that, but I get Belichick was wanting a quarterback. I'm pretty sure with the whole pipeline that he's had with Saban and that whole thing, he believes in Mac Jones. And like I said earlier, I think Mac Jones' best chance to be successful in the league, this was the best place for him to go. I don't know anywhere else he would have went that I think he would even have a shot to be successful. So I like this situation for Mac Jones. And then I love the Christian Barmore pick. I don't know how they let that happen and let him go to New England. He gives me young Vince Wilfork vibes. So that's saying a lot.
So I give the Patriots a B plus. Guess I'm a little higher than you on that. Patriots did, in my opinion, they didn't really need too much. But I felt like, if they probably would have maybe addressed the receiver position in the probably like day 2, day 3, early day 3, I probably would have given them a higher grade. But they must believe in the receiving position, the receiving core that they have currently. I like the first round pick. Based off of all the reports, seems like that's just Bill's guy. And Christian Barmore, as Trey said, for him to fall in the second round, then to get him, it's like the first 2 picks is like, why are we letting the Patriots get these players? We talk about it, everybody just shakes their head. Like the Kanye, but receiver probably would have been one of the positions. Safety, because I believe, forgot, one of their safeties retired. Yeah, Patrick Chung, he retired. So I don't know who they have in replace of him. I know they have the McCourty brothers, but one plays corner, the other one safety. So I mean, yeah, B plus.
I'm gonna give him a B. Of course, the Matt Jones one was ideal. It made sense. The Christian Barmore, I mean, yeah. But I just don't get it. Why did he go there? Of all places, man. Uh, there's another linebacker that's I think they picked up that's just a sleeper one. They got. I forgot his name, but
Belichick's good at like that. That's his whole thing. Like defensive ends, D line, offensive tackle, or like offensive linemen and stuff like
yeah,
that. Like he knows how to find those. It's the skills positions for me that he doesn't really do too well with.
yeah. So I mean, it made sense, but yeah, I just why we have to let him go there. But other than that, man, this is just really good draft picks, especially since all of their players that opted out are now coming back.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm just giving him a B so I don't get a headache thinking about it.
All right.